Hello everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. My name is Piluso. This is my recording studio, and today I want to do a quick tutorial showing how to do post-production for dialogues. I'm going to be showing a Pro Tools session with two lavalier microphones where I was recording the backstage of a huge stadium concert in Argentina. So the recording is in Spanish, but the tips I'm going to share with you today, they're going to be very useful for you because they were very useful for me. And these tips have saved me hours of editing. So I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get cracking. So let's have a little listen to the before and after.
Autoalign le está tirando un tono que le dicen señal de vida.
Sí.
Básicamente le tira un tono a la interfaz para decirle estoy bien.
Claro, un loop de tono.
Exacto. Si en algún momento llega a haber un drop, se corta o pasa algo.
So this was recorded with two lavalier mics from Zoom. They are around $200. They're quite crappy, but they are very useful for field recording. So inside of my method for mixing and post-producing dialogues, there are three different stages. The first stage is to synchronize our two lavalier mics. And for that, I used the lovely and amazing Autoalign post. This is something that I have actually added to my setup like a couple of months ago, and it was huge. I really can't believe that I've been working without this for so long. And what it basically does is time align and phase align your two microphones. When you are usually recording a scene for video and you are recording with lavalier mics, the actors or the people from the scene will be moving. Even like if you're doing an interview, if you're just walking around showing a studio or showing something, people will be moving. So the face will be shifting all the time. So this plugin is amazing. It allows you to select one of the tracks as your reference track. And here we can see Louis, that's my name. And down here we can see the guest's microphone. What's really cool about this is that, and then it's going to leave my microphone as it is, and it's going to be time shifting the microphone from the guest. So we have different options. When we have lavalier mics and everybody is moving, we want to select the dynamic timing. Otherwise, if we are just like editing an interview where the two microphones were left steady and there was no movement involved, we're going to use static option. Then for the phase alignment, we can choose spectral or polarity. So the spectral applies an all-pass filter to best match the phase in all the frequencies. So that means that tonally, your vocal will stay the same during the whole recording. And polarity is going to be flipping the polarity. So this is very useful tool. This one already saved me hours and hours of editing a very long interview. And you can actually hear the consequences of not using this is that if we turn it off.
Play porque
claro.
Me da miedo que salga el confeti para afuera.
Sí, total. Entonces, estos son arriba y abajo. Can you hear the phasing and like flanger kind of sound? That's because when we started the recording, we clapped to have a sync point. So at the beginning, it's going to sound perfect. But as time goes on, it's going to start shifting and changing. So after the process, it sounds like this.
Play porque
claro.
Me da miedo que salga el confeti para afuera.
Sí, total. Entonces, estos son arriba y abajo. So not only the tonal balance, it's even and it stays the same, but there's no more phasing. That's where the money is. So if you liked this tool, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I'm sharing all my best tips. And don't forget to subscribe. This is a growing channel, so I would really appreciate you joining us. The next stage of my post-production process is noise reduction. During the years, I have tested several ones. I also am a proud owner of the RX bundle, but the best one I have found for dialogues is the DxRevive. They do it with AI and it sounds fantastic. Like, listen to the background noise of this track, for instance.
Pero al final de la canción pones stop?
No.
No.
Yo tengo.
Now, after the DxRevive.
Pero al final de la canción pones stop?
No.
No.
Yo tengo.
It sounds like a podcast. It really does. It's amazing.
Pero al final de la canción pones stop?
No.
No.
Yo tengo. Por elección dejo prácticamente todo automatizado.
Bien.
That's on one of the lapel mics. So you could actually hear the bleed from the other guest bleeding into my microphone. And usually when you use noise reduction software, it will add lots of artifacts. Normally the bleed sounds really bad. So this is really nice. I hear it like if it was a podcast, like it's really, really good quality. And it's a very, very simple plugin. Very simple. It's just a wet, dry knob. I usually suggest you leave a little bit of background noise, otherwise it will sound weird or not real when you're looking at it with video. Then we go into our third stage of the process, and that is processing and adding effects. So first of all, I add an EQ and I take the low end off because lapel microphones usually don't have good low end. Then like in the low mids, I'm going to tame a little bit with dynamic EQ because since we are recording from our chests, we'll have a bit of an increase between 100, between 200. So that's actually low end, but yeah, and a little bit more actually. It comes all the way up to 700, that curve. Then I'm taking down 300 hertz. That's quite a boxy sound, so I take it off. And then I'm taking around 2500 hertz. That is usually like a whistle tone. And also I'm taking out the high end above 12K because in a lapel mic, there's nothing there more than noise. Then I'm adding a CLA vocals that the only thing activated is the push compression. And that is actually like a parallel compression that I really like, especially because the dynamic range of a lapel mic is all over the place. So this allows me to have a little bit of parallel compression, really nice. Then we have the spiff that will take out noises in the high register. So I'm removing mouth clicks basically. Then I'm adding compression and with a fast attack, slow release, 12:1 in the ratio. And this is really helping me tame the huge peaks you get from the lapel mic. Then the Soothe plugin that allows me to tame resonances.
Pero al final de la canción pones stop.
In different parts, so I make sure that nothing is going to exceed a certain frequency and it's going to become unbearable for the ear. So that allows me to tame everything and make it smoother. Then finally, I'm adding a limiter. And the limiter, I'm basically using it as a meter. So I select loudness right here and I try to make sure that the track is going to be peaking when I'm talking -18 LUFS and the loudest parts maybe at -14. So that will allow me to have a balance of -16 between both microphones. That is what YouTube asks for. Like in the output, I bring it down 1 dB, so I have that little headroom up there that usually when you upload into social media, it doesn't like audio going all the way up to 0. So bringing it down 1 dB helps out a lot. So let's recap very quickly what we've just done. So the first step is to synchronize both our lapel mics, or how many microphones we've got. Second step is going to be to clean those microphones and use noise reduction. Third step is going to be to process the audio, add EQ, compression, and final volume. I hope these tips were useful. Let me know below in a comment if you liked this video, and I'll leave you more videos on this screen to check out. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Piluso. Bye bye.